What's up, everybody? Here's another bumper show for you. Brought to you by myself, Usbun Nova, back in the flesh, man. It's been honestly a while since I've been on air with everyone and just enjoying the conversations that we have on a weekly basis. That's either on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays, man. You guys know how we do it now. We always here to kind of give you guys the best show as possible. And without any other thing I want to say, man, we have an amazing woman here. She is currently part of the Sharks women's team. Me being a Durban boy, you guys know how I am when it comes to my Durban nights and representing Durban to the fullest. We have Miss Nomonde here with us, Sharks women's flanker. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. So you are with Sandman Sports. Like I said off air, we are currently live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and I'm sure this must be be out of the world, basically being live and streaming on three different platforms. And right now, you're here with us. How does it feel to finally be here? How the nerves actually? Because I'm sure you've had more being coming your way in the industry you're currently part of, but to be here with us and actually having to talk for a whole hour. I know how athletes can be, they don't like talking. Kunjani nje ukuthi belana nathi so besikhuluma nje isikhathi sonke njengoba ngikutshela sithemba ukuthi ifoni i-off abantu abakufunayo ukudinga ngeke siyabatshela nje kuyimanje. We're telling them right now, coach, she's not available for the next hour. She's with this woo. You know,
On top of
how
that
are
fact,
you?
you're a student,
Sorry,
so sitting for 1 hour is
dude.
just if you're also a student, it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
devastating. But I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm so excited. Looking
yeah, man.
forward to
Like I said, Miss Nomonde Mbanjwa, right? I don't know if hopefully I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Miss Nomonde is Sharks women's flanker. Man, we've had some athletes come in here, especially women athletes come here, and we've asked them, man, out of all the sports you guys can choose. We've had a boxer, we've had basketball, not that much. We've had boxers here on the show, we've had football players here on the show, and now we have a rugby player here with us. Man, out of all the sports, only Keta. Rugby got on Monday. You know why? Why rugby? And before you get to that question, who is firstly Miss Nomonde Mbanjwa and where does she come from?
Unomonde, intombazane yaseClermont, ezalelwe Xhobo.
Yeah,
So when I was 9, I moved back to Durban, ngahlala eClermont. So Unomonde is one
yeah,
person who is very passionate about anything. Anything that I do, I'm just passionate about it, whether I know it or I don't know it. There's just that burning thing inside of me that's just want to win in whatever that I do.
yeah,
So I was introduced to rugby 2015. First time ever being introduced to rugby because I'm black.
yeah.
So in townships we've never heard of rugby. The
True,
only
true that.
sport we know is soccer, um, netball, not just a bit of it. But what is more famous or familiar with everyone is football. So
Mm,
I was introduced 2015 and I attended 2 sessions and I wasn't interested because even myself that time I was playing soccer. So I'm going to this sport where they embrace physicality. And when you
mm,
play soccer, when someone just pushes you like this, you go down and that's a foul. So you're in an environment where people enjoy bullying you and hitting you. So I was like, this sport is not for me. Left it. And then 2017, when I was doing my metric, they came again, the same ladies who recruited me 2015, they came again. Please, we're still short of players. Please come through because you have good physical. Because that time I was doing athletes and also playing football. So they said, we won't even train you that much. You just play. All you need to do is to catch the ball. As soon as you catch the ball, go score under those poles. That's it. And then when I got
Mm.
there, that's exactly what I did. And then from there, still I didn't enjoy the sport, but what I enjoyed about it is what they eat after playing. So after,
Explain, please.
af- so after we played a match, right? That time they still had Friday rugby. So at Kings Park there was always matches on Friday for high school.
Yeah,
So it was a full rugby thing. So after playing those matches, we get to eat a quarter chicken of Nando's with bun and large chips every Friday. Every
yeah,
Friday. And me being me, because I'm talkative, I'm friendly, I will get like a full chicken. So I was like, I can't miss a full chicken, four buns, large chips every Friday for just playing this sport. Let me play. So I kept playing. That's basically how I kept playing. And then
yeah.
eventually when I went to varsity to UKZN, that's when I actually realized I love this sport and I love everything about it, the
Mm.
community, the work ethic, the I just love everything behind the rugby ball.
Yeah, you mentioned something about starting it at a very early stage, your high school. Which high school was it that introduced you to rugby? And the coach, I'm sure the coach introduced it to you on rugby for no corner. He had to like he and I go in, like what did he see from you to basically be able to be on some. I feel like I could use her, you know. He and Nale coach, like basically for him to basically be on some, you know what? As much as he's not in love with the sports, Galileo Angela, but she's got something, you know. Which coach was that and which school was that? And when you look at it, could could you mention the likes of Ebola, football, netball, and all the other sports that you find in the township? Because I also grew up in the township, you know, and leading up to the show, I was like, it's funny how when it comes to rugby, like especially us black people in the township, you don't grow up being on some, I want to be a rugby player. You grow up, it's either you want to be a football player or you want to be a netball player if you're a female, or if you have friends who have, who are interested in also end up getting into that feel of wanting to do. But well, the journey from school was interesting. And what school introduced you to it? Because and we need to mention the school because you wouldn't be where you are without that school also.
Um, I will give full credit to Ukochundu Duzo more than I will give it to the school, because the way he was so involved in trying to groom young women and also young
Mm,
boys, not just women. He did more than any coaches will do. Ukochundu Duzo. He will leave his family. He will sometimes take imali yakrosa yakwakhe to help us to get to trainings,
yeah.
to help us to get to Kings Park.
Big ups to
So
coach.
without the school supporting him, that's why I'm saying I'll give credits more to him than school. But
Yeah,
I was playing for his team also, Clermont Blue Waves, when I started rugby.
yeah. Bathini-ke endlini uNomonde-ke uyahamba esikoleni yena ugqoke iyunifomu yakhe uyingane intombazane, and then she comes back home, she's like, ma, baba noma makhulu, hey, engathi rugby iyona engiyithandayo, whereas yasam, hey, if you're to play a sports, go to these non-physical sports. Bathini endlini watshela ukuthi ngifuna i-rugby mina and
This,
angiboni ukuthi ngingangijikisa.
listen, my mom has never come to a single match
Yeah.
uzongibuka, because
How ma.
what she said was, I don't like the sports. That's one. Two,
Yeah,
I don't like those girls. Like, so I don't
yeah,
understand why you keep saying it. But I don't want to lie. At first, she didn't support a single thing about it, to a point. I remember when I was still playing the unders, when I was still playing under 18, We were going
Mm.
to Port Elizabeth, if I'm not mistaken. I had to lie and say I'm visiting my aunt Emla's. I had to lie and say I'm visiting my aunt Emlazi, and then ngahamba lapho sizohamba isonto lonke. So
Yeah.
when we were on way back, because asihamba ngebhasi, when we were on our way back, ibhasi yethu yafa. So my feeling, our manager obviously now has to call our parents to let them know that we're still safe, but we have a problem, but we're
Mm.
still safe. And then our manager called my mom. Sawubona man, we have this problem. We currently stuck. I don't even remember where we were stuck. We currently stuck, and my mom lose that.
Mm.
She was, I didn't even know Nomonde is going to Port Elizabeth for the whole week. What I know is she went to visit her aunt, my aunt from my father's side.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that. So from there, she told me to never attend trainings and leave this rugby thing. I didn't still. I will come
Sheesh.
back from school, do my chores. After that, I'm going to practice.
Yeah, we should start to tell them that you've always been a rebel, hey? Because I mean, rugby is a sport for rebels. Also, it's always trying to figure out a way to better your opponents physically and mentally. I think it's something that rebels also um uh, I'd say they also feed on uh bettering the opponents mentally and physically if they need to. So Normani has always had that rebel streak in her. Man, that's crazy because we associate women with being soft and oh man, she'll be fine. Who's also woman, she'll be fine. But here you are telling us it's you've all, and I'm sure your teammates are listening in right now. Like, hey, Unaman is like that. She has been a rebel, but also I just want to say big ups to Coach Under man, because I mean,
Yeah,
like I said, Iraqi in the country, especially in the townships recently, it's been a very growing sport, and you and I
yeah,
are around the same age. And during that time, rugby was not as huge as it is right now, thanks to my Springboks, what the Springboks have been doing for the country, and everything. Were you the only girl, like, um, basically as I'm Uguti, who was like, what, let me just try and see Uguti, where does this take me? Because I'm sure it wasn't only about, it started off as Nando's, you wanting Nando's the whole time. It started off as Nando's, but I'm sure when you look at it right now, no, it was love at first sight. I am where I am because I actually fell in love with the sports from the outside.
I,
Can we
I,
say
to,
that possibly?
if I'm being honest, I wouldn't say that.
Really?
I wouldn't
Sheesh.
say. I wouldn't say it was love at first sight, but it's something that I grew to love.
Yeah. And then, so you mentioned you went on to play varsity. How was playing? How was going from high school rugby now? You're under 18s, you're under 19s now. You're going on to play varsity. The level, the intensity, Signori Pelamanje. How was that? The shock up because man, you're not playing against Ontangabako Pelly, playing against people who are like 23, 24. Labantu Funakona, they're trying to fight for places in the provincial side.
Let me take you through it. Let me take you through it.
Yeah,
28
let me hear you.
2018, 2017, I was, as much as I was playing rugby, but I wasn't attending training that much because I
Mm,
wanted to get good marks so that I can go to varsity. That was my main focus, to
mm,
go to varsity. So I was able to do that, and then I went to UKZN. When I got there was a team, UKZN Ladies team. Like, oh, perfect. God is perfect. Oh, God works in mysterious ways. Finally,
yeah.
I'm happy, I'm excited. And then I asked someone I knew about the training times, and then they told me, and then I went there, trained for 2 weeks. Went there, trained. At first I enjoyed the trainings. I enjoyed the trainings and everything. I'm like, but it's high level, it's more intensity, there are serious people, because
Mm.
then there were two people who were playing for Springboks already. So the training, they were the training and the discipline from some players, and the seriousness of this sport,
Yeah,
how much I loved it, and something I wasn't used to, because as when you're playing your under 18, you're playing for fun. It's there's nothing there's nothing really into it. You're just playing for fun, to travel, to eat,
yeah,
to meet friends, to engage with other people. You're playing for that. So when I got to varsity, it changes now, because there are people who really believe that this is my career, this is my job, this sport can take me to this place, right? So I trained there. I was enjoying the trainings at first, enjoying and enjoying, until we were preparing for a match on Saturday. Preparing for a match, okay, fine. We're doing the drills, we're doing everything. Come Saturday, there's a match. We were playing against Jaguars away. When I got there, as we are going to change room, and I see these girls, and I'm like, it can't be that we're playing against these girls. They look like they're in the same age as my aunt. I can't play against someone who's, that time I'm 18. So I like these people, because when at varsity, our league, it's an open side league. So there is no unders now. You 18 years, but you're playing against someone who's 32, someone who's 29, someone who's 27. So I was like,
so it's no more on there. I sort of lost you.
can
You still there with you with me?
yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
There's no more on there.
I can hear you from my side. Can
There's
you
no more
hear
on there.
me?
Yeah, sorry, I'm back. Yeah, I can.
Can you?
I'm sorry. I'm back now. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I can hear you.
So which last part you had before I lost you?
Um, basically, they were older than you. There's old as your aunts. That's
Oh,
where I heard you.
okay, okay. So I'm like, I can't play against someone who is old as my aunt. Like, no ways, guys. So already, as we are changing, people are singing, are enjoying. My only worry is I'm playing against someone who's probably 28, 29. I'm only 18, and it starts there. Like, because rugby it's a physical sport, but at the same time it's a mental thing. So once mentally you in that space, there is no way you will be able to play, right?
Yeah.
So already my mental space was, I can't play against these people, they're way older than me already. So when I got into
Mm.
that field, I was just chasing after people, not tackling, no, not doing anything, and I was able to tackle a few people, which when I came back at my rest, my whole body was sore. When I woke up the following day,
Can you
every
imagine?
part of me was sore. And I remember I had a blue eye in my eyes and some bruises on my thighs. And the following day, I told my roommate, and I was like, I'm never playing rugby again. This is it. I'm done. From
I mean,
from I'm done.
yeah. I mean, it's a good thing, which is yeah, but you touched on the mental aspects of it. I mean, the intensity, like I mentioned, also rugby can be a sport that can break you down mentally and
Yeah.
physically. You know, how do you now ignore that? How do you take that challenge of continuing? Uvuke ekuseni, ungadusha, umzimba ukhathele, ubuhlungu. Now you need to wake up. You need to go do this again. Practice 5 days a week. It's either you practice, I don't know, twice a day. How do you now continue with that and not have it hinder you from chasing a dream or chasing this possibility of one day which you know what, I'll make it in possibly the professional setup one day as playing for the Sharks women's side, you know, like wenza kanjani lokho, man? Because like I'm saying, man, it can be very demanding. Cool for it.
God.
Yeah, so wenza kanjani? Uyavuka ekuseni, umzimba ubuhlungu, umqondo ukhathele. How do you do it? Like, take us through your routine of how do you do it day in, day out.
Um, I would say it's having that goal. One thing I have that I have fear of failure.
Mm,
So right now, as I'm a full time student, a rugby player, I'm also working at school. So
mm,
some days I'll say I'm doing too much and it's a lot, but I have that in me. I have that fear of failure. So I know if I don't wake up at 6 and start doing that mental prep by so that by 7 I'm getting ready to do whatever that I need to do, I won't be able
mm,
to do it. And at 1 o'clock I will regret not doing it
mm.
because I will have that thing of now I'm lacking, now I'm lacking, now I'm not doing well, now I'm not doing well. So for me, I will say it's setting those short term goals,
Mm.
because once you have those goals, you know, and you're fully aware that to achieve that thing, I need to get up every morning. I
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
attend session. I need to do my extras because training for 2 hours is not enough. So for me to improve on my pace, I need to also go to the beach and run by myself. I need to also sign up at gym and do treadmills and steps so that I
Mm.
can improve my own agility and pace. So and strength also. So that by the time I go to practice, I just get the basics right and the technique of doing those certain things.
Yeah, no, no,
I will
definitely.
say it's having, because when you're doing something and you're not fully aware of why are you doing it, then whenever you feel like not doing it, it's easier to say I won't do it and then sit down or sit out.
No, no, definitely. So you mentioned some earlier on. You did mention you're still studying. What are you studying, and where are you studying it? If
I'm currently doing my master's in criminology and forensics investigation at UKZN.
she, so isiqenqe kahle kahle, ne?
Lutho, lutho. I try, but
You
I
know
need
what?
to.
It's always it's always the I want to say it's always the nerds who say they're not nerds. It's crazy how that happens. But no, man, that's honestly the fact that you're studying. The fact that you're studying, you also you said you're working also at school, and also you have this part which you're trying to chase, which is within the sporting industry, being a part-time or full-time rugby player. That's crazy because it can honestly it's either it hinders you or mentally prepared are you for the whole day, or how mentally prepared are you, or how much you want this. And by the looks of it, when you have phone, look, honestly, like yeah, we're not seeing ekuseni, uhlale embhedeni, uhlale phezu kombhede, uthi Nomonde, usuku lakho lolo mfethu. Ithathe, sikuthatha lokho okuzayo, sikubeke eceleni. Usuku lakho lolo. Bekukhona eqhamukayo ekunika inkinga, like, you know what, Nomonde, you know what, we need to do better today. It's almost like you give me that picture engathi ulenhlobo evukayo yenze njalo ekuseni, because so what I do in the mornings, I have a whole lot to juggle myself, right?
Mm,
So
mm.
I set up and I think it's okay. What can I possibly expect from my day? That's not supposed to go the way it's supposed to go, and then how am I gonna basically fend it off, and or how am I going to shrug it off? You find that it's people who are trying to, put you down. You find that it's either izinto lezi ezincane enganakekile, ezama ukuthi zicele indlela yakho ukuthi iye phambili. Wena like wenza kanjani basically, because you've got school, you've got work, you've got two jobs. I'm gonna call it. You've got two jobs, you've got school. How do you fend off everything? How do you fend off people who are trying to hinder your progress? Because let's be honest, so we have this thing of, if I see Unamoda progressing, I'm gonna try and by all means hinder her. I'm not saying anything, but it's the world we live in. It's either here in South Africa or you go overseas, we find those type of people. how does a Nomonde go about her day and trying to fend off isn't they need eqhamuka endleleni yakhe engamele ngabe zikhona because it can be very tough, man.
It's really tough. It's really tough. And for someone like me who I hate inconvenience, it's like, for
Mm.
example, if we said we're having an interview at 7 o'clock, and then it's 7 o'clock and we have network issues, mentally that takes me off.
Yeah.
That takes
I put,
for a minute. At least for a minute now, I need to. Okay, it's just network. We can still do it.
so so ladies and gentlemen, normally just took a shot at me right now, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll take it. I'll take it. Also, guys, we also taking comments today.
It's
We are
not that
live
deep.
on.
It's not that
No,
deep.
it's not deep. No, Ari. It's not that deep. I'll take it. I'll take it by the chin. I'll take it. Kodwa nami ngizokubamba. Into engizosho ngisazokubamba nami. Not now. Sisanesikhathi nje ndawonye and ngisazokubamba ungawari. But what I wanted to say is to all our listeners and the people who are watching, we are live on all social media platforms. We are at Sandman Sports underscore Sandman underscore Sports on Instagram and Facebook, but also on YouTube. Please do comment. You know, Miss Nomonde, we will be asking her your questions. If you have a question for her, please do put them on the comments column. And don't forget that like button or subscribe button on YouTube or all of those social media platforms. But back to you, Miss Nomonde. So you just took a shot at me. It's fine. It was a bamba, like I said.
I said it's not.
So you guys are currently on yours off season, right? You guys are currently on yours off season, and it's been it's you guys had a very split season. 50-50 is what I'll call it. 7 wins, 7 losses. You guys are in fifth place in the women's premiership division for 2024. When you reflect this season, when we are could you guys have done better, much more better, or are you guys? Can you guys say you guys are at a stage where we are where we are because we deserve to be where we are because of the way we possibly played? Like, what? Give me your opinion of your season this past season with the Sharks women's team.
We had unbelievable season. Like we had, sometimes sometimes after a match you will think and sleep and be like, was that us playing that game?
Mm,
Because we played so brilliant. Like we played as a team. We played with passion. We understood each other. So
yeah.
all in all, I will say, this was by far our best season ever. And the wins that we got, it's one of those wins that meant so much to us as a team. But um where we are position wise, I would say we deserve to be there
Okay.
because of certain things that we all know as a team we need to work on, so that
Mm,
next season we come back a better team.
yeah. I mean, it's like you said, it's Sharks from what I know, the Sharks team, the women's team consists of students
Mm.
and it consists of guys who have finished school also and are currently taking this, are trying to take this a little further. It's either they're trying to get moves overseas or they're trying to look at breaking into that Springbok setup. Where does Umis Nomonde see herself basically with the Sharks? Could you possibly say in the next 2 years, let's give you guys a 2 year, 3 years, 2 years, man, 3 years. You possibly say Miss Nomonde sees the team possibly in the next 3 years. You guys are winning the Premiership division, of which me as a Durbanite, like I said, I'd love to see that. And eventually, one day, possibly, we see the women's game also being put at a stage where we see the men's game right now being put at where it's in the international stage, not just at the national stage that we currently find you guys at.
um
So where do you exact guys see yourself in the next 3 years, in
I
your
will
opinion?
say not even 3 years. I will say in the next 2 years, we definitely winning that Premier Division
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
foundation we were able to build this year. if we can next year continue from that foundation and grow from there and have better resources and better funds,
Yeah.
I
When you
definitely.
it's crazy. Say you mention funds and resources. You know, we always have a conversation. We always have a conversation about how the women's game is not being looked after, whether it's football, cricket, or rugby or boxing. Even the women's game is not being looked after. Our women are not being looked after, despite the successes of Ibanya Banyanya. That has still yet we still yet to see our women's game, our women's sports in general. Let me say that women's sports being taken care of by, I don't want to say that they're counterparts, but the powers be within the game. When I was young, local, like I know for me, I'll say it's unfair on you guys. I'll honestly say it's unfair on you guys because you guys try your utmost best to put in the work and training and also to go out there and entertain us, the spectators. When I was young,
Very,
the fact that you
it's very because we also work full time on this thing.
mm, yeah,
So we also work as hard as the men's side. So
mm,
you neglect your school. There are so many athletes that had to drop out of school, had to drop out of varsity because of this
mm,
sport. But they're not getting anything. Right now they're working piece jobs. They because after 10 years or 12 years of playing this thing, I've never got a 1,000 rand from this sport. So it's really disappointing and and very unfair
mm,
to not only us but also young girls who see us and say, I also want to play rugby like Unomon. Like when I go back home at Claremont, there are so many young girls that when they see me, they have that hope, they have that excitement. They will be so excited to tell me that I watched you when you were playing, and you can see the excitement in their faces that now they believe that it's possible for me also
yeah,
because when they went to the same school I went to and Nomonde Mbanjwa University UKZN, which even that for us it's something that is not for everyone because when I went to varsity I was the dead one ngasekhaya ukuthi ngiya khona, and
yeah,
unfortunately the second one who went before me didn't finish his degree because of joining the politics and everything. So it's those things when he came back and now there is that look of he went to varsity, he came back, he's still drinking this, he's still like this, he's still like that. But the kids can still see Unomonde would say now, but there is Unomonde that we still see on TV. There is
mm,
Unomonde that we graduating and see Unomonde doing this and that. So it gives hope. But when you see someone, you see a 10-year-old yeah, girl going to practice, you get that sadness, and that is by the time this child plays for under 18s, for under 19, is she going to get better treatment or better um
it's crazy.
platform because she can't experience what I experienced.
Yeah,
You can't be a full, it's hard to be a full-time athlete and work. Not to
yeah,
study is fair because studying is for you. But if you have to work in order for you to support yourself, then it's a different story.
yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Honestly, analysis. No wonder the fact that you mentioned you're here to get $1,000 as a reward for you representing your club. That's crazy, and the fact that because we've had women also here on the show where they've said something along those lines, and when you mentioned that, I reflected back to Miss Portia Modise also when she said, "Man, it was the craziest part was she played for Ibanyanya all those years that she played for Ibanyanya, and during that time." She'll be playing, but at the same time, she'll be still going back to Umkoko
Mkondo,
Ake,
Mkondo.
bro. She's still going back to Umkoko Ake, and where the country kind of, we only recognized her whenever she was only playing, when she was only about to play for her national side. But whenever engayidlaleli banyana sekuphelile lapho ibhola lakhe, you know. And I look at the fact that it would say one day I want to have a daughter one day, and will she be taken care of when it comes to if she tries and get into a this industry that I love, that I want to see prosper one day? Because right now it's not only like South Africa. Where right now we seeing women fighting to be recognized not only within the this industry of sports only, but also in other industries such as in media and broadcast, of
Yeah.
which there we've had with media and broadcast we've had some steps forward. But when it comes to sports alone in this country, it's been very disappointing with to you that like women are not being taken care of. And the fact that, like I said, I think one of my what the reason why I'd asked you the question of how do you fend off negativity and disappointments earlier is I wanted to get to this point where it's basically, guys, because I have the utmost respect for you guys, for what you guys do and what you guys sacrifice. Honestly, you guys sacrifice your bodies, you guys sacrifice everything, your mental health, your physical health, just because you guys are hoping which there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, honestly, how do you guys do it? Because I'm sure you're not the only one. I'm sure the likes of Olindela Gwala, the likes of Onomfundo Kumalo, just to name those couple of those women only. For now, Onobuhle only. How do you guys do it? Just to wake up and be on some. You know what? I have a career I'm trying to push right here, and I'm hoping you will see what I'm doing right here opens up doors for me, or if it doesn't open up doors for me, like what I'm doing finds light at the end of the tunnel where the people behind me are able to follow through and be awesome. You know what? Almost Nomonde Mbanjwa was able to do this for me to be where I am, and not only in the professional setup, but also at school at UKZN, for example, or if at DUT for with their rugby structures, with their women's rugby structures. How do you guys do it? The sacrifices you guys make, but also being able to wake up with a smile in the morning.
I think it's holding on to that's one thing that you needed the most in your life. Like, I'm
Mm,
from township, right? So when I played this sport, for the first time I got to travel for free.
yeah,
Like, I got to travel almost all the provinces for free. So
sheesh.
you see that, and then you hold on to that hope of it will get better. Let me keep let me keep working. The person next, because as you mentioned, Lindelwa, when Lindelwa left UK, and because when I arrived at UK, and Lindelwa was also a student there, the likes of also Loans,
Mm,
who's now and or who just came back from Olympics, which for us is also an inspiration that I know this person. When I got to UK, then I could see the kind of work she was putting.
mm,
So it tells you what, if you work hard, if you push yourself, if you push boundaries, and if you focus on your work and you stay disciplined, it's possible. So for me, I will say it's just holding on to those things. And as I was saying with you, when Obo Sizo and Abolindela left, they were not getting the same thing as now we are getting. For the first time last year, we played Varsity Cup. They didn't have that opportunity to play Varsity Cup at the varsity level.
yeah.
So we were the first one. And I'm holding on to the hope that right now I'm the first female to wear a pink short here in KZN. So
Mm,
I already know when I leave UKZN, there will be a second one to wear that short. So it's holding on to that. Maybe it won't be just a short. There will be something more.
mm,
2028, there will be more. So it's holding on to that and realizing that when you play this sport, not just rugby, in fact, if you are women in sport, You're not just doing it for you, but you you're doing it's above you, whether you benefit or not. But it's not about you. It's about we along the way. Do you want that person to have something or
Mm,
nothing? And they won't have anything if you give up. So you can't give up. So we're basically working so hard, and the people before me, they've worked so hard for me to be able to sit here and have this interview. So now if I'm working as hard, the person next to me, they'll be on SABC
yeah,
doing the same interview. So I think that's what pushes me the most. I think that's what sport wise, that what helped me to keep going and don't give up. Just having that understanding and that knowing and just looking how far we've come
yeah.
as men in sport.
I mean, just Nomonde, I'm honestly disappointed in you in the fact that it's social would say, they're having an interview with me on Super Sport. I'm disappointed in the fact that
No,
you didn't say
I forgot to say that, but deep down I did say it. Oh,
that. But I honestly do understand because it's crazy because an Indian thing for the issue is the fact that it would see you guys are looking forward to, you guys are now having to look forward to the fact that you guys are getting such perks. Whereas you find that in your counterparts, amajita, bona bayadlala, akumele umuntu ezethi ngaze namhlanje sokwakhiswa yini, ukuthi
yeah.
sihambe siyodlala. Where with you guys, nihlala with this thing of, are they gonna make us pay this time around to go and play? Where the guys are saying, we know we're going there for free. The school is covering
And
the expenses.
they don't even give us a chance to pay for that. They cancel it on our behalf. The message you
Imagine.
is it's been cancelled due to funds.
Imagine, where like I was saying with the gents, I don't think you get that. I don't think you get that in any level of sports unless it's we're going back to like primary school, but from high school on, well, not really high school, but when you get to like first team onwards, now I'm talking about your big schools basically. From high school onwards, we are new into the professional setup. Would say whomever you're playing for, your expenses going forward, uyaphambili siyadlala. Bazokhokha. Mina ngeke ngikhokhe, ngeke futhi ngidlale ngiphinde ngikhokhe futhi nakhona. I'm representing their brand. That's another thing I just wanted to talk about. Brand exposure. How women's rugby right now, um we finding the fact that I would say the gents rugby or gents sports, whether it's under 17s, 16s, Ganyuga, there's this marketing and brand exposure that these guys are getting, which means it would say by the time Lomonto Kalaga grade 8, by the time they feel at university, because you would so bad due to the fact that it's a game have been televised. Bana local would say, I'm a scout have a born or go to okay, I don't really need to travel all the way there. I'm a stat second corner, where you guys, the fact that it would say right now are finding yourselves in a situation where women are finding themselves in a situation where they're having to literally, you know, take their own videos in order to get a better opportunity to go to, for example, to go to the Bulls. Yeah, well, told them, you know what? Um, when I'm gonna know me, Sbu, here's a camera. Can you please take videos for me? Thank you very much, Sandile. um, here's a camera. Can you please take videos for me? I want to get a better move away from, I want to say, from the Sharks. I'm not saying Utufuna Loco, but I want to get a better move away from the Sharks to possibly go play for the Bulls one day. Like, how does that also, I'm sure, how does that also, like, where do you stand with that you are playing for a brand, but that brand also is not taking, I'm not saying they're not taking care of you, but not to the way you feel like they should be respecting your craft, the way you respecting their brand.
With sharks, it's a bit broad because I recently also learned that we that's why we don't have a women's page, a sharks women's side page,
Mm,
because there are still bit of complications along those things with branding and how we are funded, or we're not under the sharks and all those things. So
mm.
I really can't comment much on that, because of those things, and I don't want to get myself into trouble.
No, no, definitely. I'm not expecting you to do that. But
So,
one thing I'm against Shalana is the fact that it would see
but I will
um
definitely comment
when it comes
on
to when it comes
I'll
to
comment,
trying to get when they're
like,
trying to get better opportunities, you guys have to go above and beyond for yourselves,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I will
Where
answer that.
where for the
Uh,
gents, it's not that hard for them to get those opportunities.
yeah,
So
definitely.
that's what I was trying to get to. Sorry.
Mhm. No, no, it's also I was touching on that because I also like your question when it's with the branding thing.
Mm.
And I won't just put it on only the sponsors. I will get to them. I will get to them. I will
Yeah.
also I will also mention us Nazi as women in sport.
Mm.
Nazi sometimes but it's slowly getting better now. But before we were also not understanding this because we're not taught. It's to be fair, we're not taught how to conduct ourselves as an athlete. All you do, as I said, how I was introduced to rugby. So along that journey, who taught me no more? You're not supposed to be walking around with this savannah because wearing the brand. Because when I'm carrying this savannah, going around wearing this t-shirt, and then someone will say, "Ziyaphuza ingane zase UKZN," but they will
Yeah.
no more say isavana.
Mm.
So if I'm
Correct.
fighting a point, wearing this and the shot from UKZN or shocks, a shot from Sharks, they will say, iy'ngane zase-Sharks nako-UKZN lengane ze-rugby lezi i-chaos nje zihlale zilo nalapha epoint khona ebeyilo. So it's not just me now, it's the whole institution, and it's the whole Sharks.
Mm.
So that I would say we didn't understand the impact that has, but now it has gotten better because we can't expect Hollywood to come and sponsor us if we are not also meeting them
Respect.
halfway. How do
Mm.
we meet them halfway? Is how we conduct ourselves, is how we present ourselves, it's how we talk about ourselves, it's how we, before they can say, oh, actually we like that brand,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
then they can invest on us. So we can talk about brands as we want, but also even us, you can understand. Before, as I said, we were not taught how to do these things. Even myself, I was never I never got a prep on how to conduct, or how to, when I'm being interviewed, what is expected of me. How must I sit? Must I sit like this, or must I sit like this? Am I allowed to say, I never had that opportunity to sit down and have that prep, right? So you can't expect someone to have and to be in an interview and be able to conduct themselves. So it does small things before we can get to, we need more sponsors, we need more people to invest in women, we need this, we need that. But to be honest,
Definitely.
I've seen a lot of growth and a lot of exposure and opportunities for us because beginning of this year, for the first time, Varsity Cup decided to do a formal launch of Varsity
Mm.
Cup. Yeah. I was also invited there, and it was a great experience. So it does exposure and those things where you get to meet, shake hands with right people. And also, I've never been in SABC's offices to see how they work, to see what. Uh, I grew up watching SABC on my TV, Super Sport on my TV,
Mm.
but to be in a office where Super Sport actually works, how it works, being forced, not forced, but it's a must that to be on TV you must have makeup. Like when I see those people, like I like, it's a camera angle, it's an angle. But when I was
Yeah,
there, like I was told that no one has ever been on been live without a makeup.
yeah,
It's
no,
just.
definitely. You know what? Like the answer you gave me when it comes to brand, man. Like I think that's the first time I've ever heard the moon do a kuluma ngendlela ekhuluma ngayo, because usually whenever we ask that question, you usually get the answers of, you know what, one or two and three, and umuntu engelelani. Basically, you literally reflected on yourself. You know, some in order for a brand to recognize me, or would say I'm this type of person, I should also start by respecting myself. I think that's what I that's what I got from the answer. I should respect myself. I should respect the brand that I'm playing for in order for other brands to kind of come in and recognize it. Because you know what, me na sibo says so all me na no more. I respect myself in this way. I've got a code. I've got I've got morals, and this is what I'm gonna stick by. Like I love your answer, honestly, definitely.
But when
So
they approach you, by the time they approach you, they already seen what you wear. So for them, it's just saying, "This is what we're bringing. This is what we want you to add." But not
exactly.
take from from the stretch where they're telling you, "This is how you must walk. This is how you must talk." You've been
Yeah.
talking the talk. You've been walking the walk.
So what's next for Miss Nomonde? Okay, besides the scholar, because I love the scholar, man. I love the scholar, but besides the scholar, what's next for Miss Nomonde?
Obviously, I don't want to just play, and once I say I've reached my top goal, I don't want
Yeah,
to leave the sport, but I still want to be involved in terms of finding that young talent, in terms of
yeah,
maybe at later stage. I
yeah.
also to be involved in not really broadcasting, but to do more
Come
in
join us.
whatever way, in
Come
whatever
join
way
us.
I'm involved. But I really want to be involved in this sport that I love so much.
Definitely. So, Miss Nomonde, um, like I said on Zubamba, similar call Kemanj.
Yeah,
Similar similar
don't
call Kemanj. So it's no one. I'm hoping we'll see. I'm getting that Sharks jersey very soon. Like I said, I'm a Durbanite. I'm always around Durban. I'm a phone call away. Just let me know. We're going to see, hey, Swoo.
I play flank. That means I play six.
Ah, you
So
can kinga. I, I
it's
I used to be a
small.
forward also.
I wear extra small. It won't fit you.
No, then you need to try and syndicate a large. You need to try and syndicate a large for your boy. But it's honestly, man, it's crazy. But like I said, when the cock, I wear a large. By the way, I
Oh,
just wear a
talking about
large.
good things also, for the first time this season,
Uh
at
huh.
the end of the season, we got our jerseys. That the one that you were playing in
Uh
the
huh.
post for the first time since I
Sheesh,
joined the Sharks senior team.
sheesh, man. And
So
here's another thing.
it's
Here,
there's so much growth. Like there's just so much, and we're
mm,
hoping for more. But we're also grateful for the things, because also what I forgot to mention is I've been on scholarship for 3 years now. So
sheesh.
it's
That's
those.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's
That's a,
those small, but as and it's small because we say we want more, but it's
mm.
also a big thing because, as I said before, we didn't have much of these things.
Wearing jerseys. I remember when we had. So I remember when I was part of Ito News Radio, and we had Utembe Lihle on the show. I think she used to be, or she still is, possibly UKZN rugby manager. I don't know if she. Yeah,
She's
so
a,
we had Utembe Lihle. Sorry.
she's our chairperson now.
Yeah, yeah. So we had Utembe Lihle and Opatega, if I'm not mistaken. She also plays for she plays for Sharks now. I don't know if she's still part of the UKZN setup. Um,
coaching our
we
forward.
Yeah, so we had an amazing chat when they came to the show, and I remember they had mentioned a whole lot of stuff that they hope was by the time they leave the UK, because the conversation was more based around UKZN rugby, women's rugby, and where they would love to see it. And you mentioned things such as you guys, the perks you guys are currently getting, and what you guys are getting right now, the scholarships you guys are getting as women's rugby. I'm sure they also look at it as Utemili also the same way. She looks at it right now and she's like, you know what? I've been here for such and such a long time. I'm loving the growth that we are currently getting for women's rugby, not only for women's sports, but women's rugby to be specific, because I know she's part of women's rugby. No, no, Patera, and I'm sure she's reflecting on the fact that she also getting her opportunities. Um, with the Shark setup, because I follow her on social media and I see how happy she is being part of that Shark setup and how proud she is. I just hope that she continues the growth. Both of them, both women, they continue the growth and man, yeah, it's been crazy. But also now, if we to continue with your spirits, because in my opinion, from the get go, like you said, man, used to be part of you got part of rugby because we and you look like you really the way kulumela, everyone comes around you. Like as was your share, like your joke when I'm around no more and it's all vibes, man. It's all vibes. And I think from the time we started talking when we were backstage until now, man, it's been nothing but fun and jokes. But ekugcineni ngisasho lela jezi ledingakala shit, this is something to call at some point.
I really enjoyed the conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, man.
I also got
It's
to learn a few things about myself that I didn't know. Like as I was answering, as you were asking questions, I learned a
yeah.
few things here and
And
there.
here you were stressing about it with the boozing shit. Cool, no. Literally, and I'm
I
like,
never trained. We were never trained to do these
yeah.
things. It's
Oh,
really not easy. I
yeah.
remember
Now,
last year we were shooting we were shooting something for Women's Day with the Sharks.
mm.
We had to do 6 retakes.
Sheesh.
They had to do like the interviewer will sit me down and say, "Nomonde, okay, now are you calm? Are you sitting right?" I'm like, yes, yes, I'm ready. Put the mic in. Okay, start. Hi, my name is, and then I will laugh because the cameras are like, there is a camera here and there's a camera somewhere here. There's a camera, like the cameras, everything is just here, and there are people, like a lot of people in the room. So for me, it was overwhelming. At the same time, it was just, I don't know, but it took me a while to process it and like, no one, they calm down. That's where Papa manage. Just calm down and do the talk.
No, no mind. Again, it's been lovely having you on the show, and we will be following your progress. Hopefully, we see you in the green and gold of the Springboks one day, of the women's Springboks one day, and our hour is done. We made it through a whole hour without being distracted. Even though you took some shots at me and my network, but it was zero with Bamba. It was zero with Bamba until the end of the hour, man. But again, to everyone who's listening, thank you guys for being part. For everyone who's listening and watching, sorry, thank you guys for being part of our show with Miss Nomonde Mbanjwa, and hopefully the Sharks women's side are able to take it all the way and represent them to the fullest, like you guys have been. And also, we will be following UKZN
And
Rugby, whether it's the
KZN,
women.
we've been taking KZN to that map. We're the first team in KZN that is currently playing in the Varsity Cup.
Izwanje futhi nakhona amajita, I think
So
the guys
doing,
are playing the shield.
doing so well.
Yeah, but honestly, guys, thank you guys. Thank you, Miss Nomonde, for being part of our show. And I hope
Thank
everyone else enjoyed our interview. I hope you guys press the subscribe button and press that like button on all the other social media platforms. We are Sandman underscore sports. My name is Sbu Ngobo. You guys can catch me on all social media platforms at Sbu underscore Ngobo. And Miss Nomonde, and she is social media
no more
platforms.
408.
There you go. Nomonde underscore '08. But for now, thank you guys. Check you guys next week for another great show with you guys. Bye bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Signing out.
Deuces, camera.
Yebo!
It's the